Possibilities, a podcast for those who are ready to evolve into unstoppable, intuitive, and resilient entrepreneurial leaders. Every episode features successful business thought leaders who share their wisdom about insightful topics that help you amplify how you do business and serve yourself and others. Get comfortable and have fun as you listen to your host, Terry Wildemann, have lively conversation with her guest. Here's Terry. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Awaken the Possibilities. I'm Terry Wildemann, and I'm thrilled, as always, to bring you unique, magnificent, wonderful guests who will help you grow in business and in life. One of the things that I love about doing this show is Awaken the Possibilities. The material and the information that is shared by our guests are often things that you don't think about. And it creates a wonderful catalyst to help you think a little bit differently, shift perspective, and grow your business and your life in new and magnificent ways. Today's guest is Katja Rusanen, and she is a #1 best-selling author, a spiritual mentor, success coach, and creator of the Client Attraction Story System, which is a step-by-step program for purpose-driven entrepreneurs to craft stories that sell. Who, as an entrepreneur, can't use that? After working as a supervisor in one of the world's leading business banks, she obtained 2 master's degrees in spiritual psychology and spiritual science. She has now dedicated her life to helping clients discover the power of personal stories and create a business that they love. Katja lives in gorgeous Marbella, Spain, or as we Latinos say, Marbella, Spain, and loves horseback riding, long walks on the beach, and watching the sunset. So, welcome to the show, my dear friend Katja.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It is honor and pleasure to be here today and hopefully inspire your audience.
Hopefully. My gosh, every time I get on with you, it's an inspiration. I walk away and inspired. So it's not about hopefully. It is, I know you will. I absolutely know you will. Well, Katja, one of the things that I know you're very, very good at is helping people share their voice, their spoken voice, and their written voice. So many of us are so scared to share our story. So I would love to know, what triggered in you to awaken the possibilities in your life to work with people to share their stories? Whoa. Just
Okay.
Guess I didn't want to hear that.
A hidden story that I'm gonna share. Actually, it is so funny that you ask because it came what I need to share here. And part of my journey was I was hiding my story until I went to a palm reader. I was in a crossroads in life, and I went to a palm reader in Barcelona. And with the Spanish that I at that time have, I was able to understand him, and he was asking me in Spanish, like, why don't you write? He had studied my hand, and then he was like, gave me the look of knowing and like, why don't you write? And I immediately knew what story he was talking about. I was like, how can he know that I have this hidden story within? And back then I was just with my Spanish, like, I didn't know what to say. And then I agreed, I heard myself agreeing to start writing. And I did. Actually, I kept my promise. I went home, I started typing what then became my first novel. But it started with that little question, why don't you write? Because that straight put me into this story that I knew straight after the event that was very tragic for me when I was 16 years old happened. I knew that this is something I will share one day.
So when you heard him say,
Mhm.
why don't you write your story? I would love to know what happened in that moment in mind, body, and spirit.
It was like I described to somebody, it was like a lightning with a hit me because it went straight to the core. It reminded me of the event itself, but also the that this was something I meant to share. It was just this inner knowing, this is something that you're gonna share. Even when I was going through the trauma and the grief and all these emotions, I knew this is something that one day I will be sharing. And it was the knowing that there is now somebody who knew that I have this story within me that I haven't been sharing. And it was kind of like an invitation. It's time. It's
Yes.
time to start sharing.
And would you agree, maybe not, that he gave you permission
Yes,
to, so that you could give yourself permission to share?
yes, because it was again like somebody recognizing something, just taking the lines in my hand, like recognizing that I do actually have a gift to writing. I have a gift to
Nice.
sharing.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So tell me, what was the project that emanated from that experience?
It was a healing journey for me because for 15 years I had just pushed this experience away. I pretended it never happened.
Mm,
I put it on the storage in a storage room and locked the door. And when I started writing, it started opening up that storage unit and going through the experience, and it was very healing. And that first book, it is a fictional novel. The core event is what happened.
and what's the name of this novel?
It is, and you must love me.
And where can we find it?
It is available on Amazon,
So can you say the title again?
and you must love me.
You Must Love Me. Oh, sounds juicy.
It is that healing journey that came through writing the novel. It was so deep, and I always say now the people I help, like this person is healing. And then there came a day I actually had the courage to start sharing as well about the story. And I remember that happened in the I was studying to be a spiritual life coach, and there having this conversation with fellow students, my first time shared with someone who had no idea who or what has happened. I had the courage to start sharing that experience. That somehow opened a deeper level of connection. Because I have always felt like there is this wall between me and other people, the wall that I had built because I was hiding that part of my journey. And then I felt like really that I can share, I can be open, and I can connect on a new level. And what happened after that, when I had courage to share, the other person shared also. And it was kind of like a permission that it's okay. We can open doors and we can have the courage to have these conversations because life is a journey and we go through experiences that we can all learn through these experiences.
So I'm curious, Katya. Right before you started sharing, and I'd like for you to take step by step. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? And I'm asking that question, that powerful question, so that you can help others who feel they have a story to share, but they're too scared to. So, what actually compelled you to share that story in that group? What
Mm.
what was that core trigger?
Just to correct there, I didn't share it in a group. It was one person.
Oh,
One
one
person.
person. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you shared that in the group. See? That's why I asked the question.
Baby
So it
steps.
was not a group. It was just baby steps. So it was one person. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
And now I do share more with the groups. I've spoken about my story with the hundreds of people,
Right.
but it started with one person.
Okay.
And how it felt, it was just like some opening happened. And there was
Nice.
like this gentle push from my soul, like it is time, you can open up, it's safe.
Safe.
Safe
Yes.
place, because we had been doing this amazing learning and we were going to have a lunch and we were really connected as we were going through the same learning experience, and it felt safe, that it's safe to share. And it
Nice.
felt like it is also an opportunity for me to break through that wall of silence.
Beautiful. How did you feel after you shared it?
It was like this, in a way, excitement that I had been able to share. But then there also came, and I'm just honest here, then there also came this, oh my,
I bet.
I just shared something that I have kept secret for so many years. And that was also like, if somebody starts sharing, we might have this first like, yay, I did it, I shared. And then comes like, oh, what did I do? What does that person now think about me? And like, it's the inner voice that has kept me quiet for so long, started to come and say like, what did she do now? Now she knows. And it was like, then again, then back then, now I would do some things differently, as I'm sharing from the experience, to have compassion and love towards yourself when if you start sharing. And back then I was a little bit like, oh, what did I do? But then there was also the knowing that it was meant to be shared. So that
Nice.
has been guiding me a lot during these years. And of course, I do now have more tools to deal with the self judgments like that I tap into, like through forgiveness, forgiving myself for my own judgments that I place against myself.
And I'm curious as you're walking down this journey, and I'm seeing you literally in this storytelling uh, journey, seeing you walking down the yellow brick road, so to speak. Once you shared it with this individual, you said that other people started sharing your story, but how you felt scared. What were the next pieces of that? What actually happened after you shared with this person and other people started sharing? What were you able to see, and how were you able to orchestrate helping other people share their stories?
That was a journey that also came bit by bit. So I started my writing journey. That was a lot for me, and also sharing, and I put things in the book that hopefully help somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came to the point that I felt like people started sharing for me very, very deep stuff, very traumatic experiences that they have gone through. And I spoke with my teacher when I had studied spiritual life coaching. I was like, I feel I need something else. Like, I feel I need more to be able to support them. And he was like, well, if you feel that way, why don't you look something more? And I
Yeah.
did. And that's what led me then to study spiritual psychology. I moved
Nice.
to Santa Monica, California to study 2 years master's degree
I'm
in
sorry, study what?
spiritual psychology. It was master's degree.
A
I
master's degree.
2 years. And that was the best thing I have done. Like, that was life changing experience. And I don't say that lightly, because that really truly opened my eyes to see life in a very different way than I had before. And now I feel like that awareness that I got through my studies helped me now to help others even more than before.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. So this story is just magnificent in terms of helping others to see that we all have a story, and in sharing our stories we can really help others. So you now have this master's degree, you are now helping others. What is your favorite way to be helping others through the vehicle of sharing your story?
It is discovering lessons that they have learned and then being able to share it in a way that can support others.
Mm.
And I love because what I see in those moments is truly the ripple effect that comes when you share something that you learned on your journey, and that then can support somebody else, and maybe that person might support somebody else, and it just keeps going.
So one of the things you just said was, and you cut out, so I want to make sure you say it again. The ripple effect of what?
Ripple effect of light.
Of light.
Yes.
Light. Okay, it's we're having a little bit of a tech issue.
No, light to that.
Light. Okay. Energy. Come on, energy. We're good. So, Katja, tell me more about some of the projects that you've been doing to help people elevate their stories, or share their stories first and then elevate their voices. Can you share with the audience what it is that you're actually doing?
So I help mainly purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are called to get their gifts here in the door. But then what happens often, and I've been there too, they, there is the disconnect with the ideal client. That's where the story helps. Because the story is kind of like a bridge that connects them with the ideal client. Because the ideal client can understand that what they have gone through might be where the ideal client is now. And then they can show the way over the bridge. Like there is a way through the experience, the challenge that they might be facing right now. I've been there, I've walked that bridge, and they can show that through the story and build that connection, build the trust, and showcase their expertise and the life experience that they have gone through.
Do you find in your practice that a lot of the folks that you help identify their ideal client, the ideal client is actually very similar to themselves?
Yeah, the secret.
That's the secret. Yes, it is. So yeah, because I find that when I work with my ideal clients, they're out here. Oh, I want to work with this person. I want to work with that. But why do you want to work with that person? What experience do you have? What is your ideal client? And all of a sudden, after they answer a few questions and they settle in, it's like, oh, that sounds so much like me. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is because our life experiences have happened for a reason, I
That's
believe.
right. I agree with you.
And, and then we can help those other people who might be going through something similar. Like, of course, your life experiences are unique to you. The
Hmm.
experience that you went through, your way, how you relate to it, that's yours. But there might be similar situations that others are going through as well. And now, since you have gone through that, you know how it feels like to be there, how it, where the thoughts, where the experience, and you truly are an expert on
Hmm.
that field because you found a way through that situation, you found a way to turn things around. And
Yes.
that is something you can support others with.
Absolutely. You are so absolutely right with that. So, Katja, I know you have a lot of different programs and they're not all available right now, but I would love for you to share what it is that you have created and what opportunities people have to interact with you.
So I do have plenty of programs. I am very creative. That's one of my
I
gifts.
know. Keeping up with you is like, okay.
We all have our gifts. Creation is one of mine. I love creating. And I also love working with people. I offer one on one and group coaching so that you can find a way to share your story. One of my most popular programs is actually called Client Attraction Story System that helps people step by step to craft their story. So that's something I love because there is also because so many times I hear I don't have a story.
You and I both know that's not true.
That's not true. You do have a story. You have actually plenty of stories. How many things happen every day? But there is also a art form creating the story. And the good news here is crafting a story is actually a skill set. Like you can learn to share a story. So it's not just like, oh, you just have to be a storyteller, like being natural and that. It's not like that. You can learn what are the elements to put in your story, how to share your story so that it works. So I was actually once super shy. You might not believe that right now, but I was totally shy. I was like, never got any roles in a school plays because I was terrified to speak in front of audience. And then I learned, like I was pushed towards the like sharing and speaking. And one of the things I want to share now will help me a lot was to focus on the why I want to
Yes.
share this story, why I want to share that experience, why I want to share these programs. That helped me. And that might help you as well if you connect with the why you want to do it. Because that way you have a power to overcome yourself. I feel like that was my biggest thing. Learn to overcome myself on
So,
the journey.
Katya, what is your why?
It is truly helping others on the journey, sharing their story, because I believe we have these life lessons that we are here to learn as souls having this human experience. And we can share the learning so that makes life so much easier for others. So that's my calling of service, and I would love to be in service this way to discover those life lessons and help them to share it.
Absolutely beautiful. So, Katya, how can people get in touch with you?
They can reach out to me by, I'm on Facebook. I love connections there, so they can find me through my name, or they can email at katyainternational.com. And I hope you're gonna put it on the comments because
Sure.
because it is Katja. I come from Finland, so if you have wondered all this time, where does this accent come from? So
And she lives in
originally,
Spain. So, what's up with that?
yeah. So that's the journey. I'm from Finland originally, and now living in Spain. So that
Okay.
my name also comes from Finland. So that's
And
why.
one day, I'm going to have you back on. You can share your story on how you landed in Spain.
Yes, that is another story.
Okay. Well, Katya, I want to thank you so much for being here today. It was absolutely brilliant to hear how you went from an introvert to someone who was comfortable in sharing your story and all the elements along the way to be able to help other humans on this planet who are meant to be working with you. So thank you so very much for being on Awaken the Possibilities, and thank you for sharing your amazing insight and knowledge with the Awaken the Possibilities audience. And to my audience, thank you so much for being here. As you can see, Katya is absolutely amazing when it comes to storytelling. Trust me, I know her. She's an absolute rock star. So I invite you to work with her. And I hope that you have a phenomenal, phenomenal week. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Awaken the Possibilities to your success. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Visit our website at awakenthepossibilities.com to subscribe to listen and rate our podcast on your favorite platform, such as YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Cashbox, and more. For events, business, mindset, and leadership coaching services and courses, visit our website at intuitiveleadership.com. We look forward to sharing more insightful episodes and wish you much success in your business and life.